Alright folks, picture this. You're at a wedding, right? The DJ in a tacky suit, spinning some safe crowd-pleasing nonsense, and suddenly, wham, the vibe shifts. Clean guitars shimmer like approaching storm clouds, tension buzzing your nerves. Deep tribal toms rumble in like war drums, bass shaking the silverware. Boom, the riff detonates, dun dun dun, da da dun dun dun. And before you can pretend you're too cool for it, half the room's air guitaring like idiots, including your nan who's suddenly headbanging over a sherry. That's Enter Sandman by Metallica. The song that's infiltrated every corner of pop culture, from stadiums to elevators. Even if you're one of those hipsters who claims they've never heard it, liar, it's probably lurking in your subconscious, waiting to pounce like a bad dream. Today, we're diving into the chaos behind this beast, how it was born, why it's a nightmare in the best way, and the weird ripples it sent through the world. Buckle up, because this story's got more twists than a thrash solo, and I'll be your cheeky guide. Think Ricky Gervais, if he traded atheism rants for metal trivia. Let's enter the sandpit. First off, the spark. Imagine it's the late 80s, and Metallica's just come off. And Justice for All, that sprawling monster of an album where every song feels like a math exam on steroids. They're exhausted but hungry to evolve. Enter Kirk, the lead guitarist with the curly mane and a riff that's about to change everything. One night in a hotel room, probably after too much room service or whatever rock stars do at 3 a.m., Kirk plucks out this simple bluesy groove on his guitar. Do-do-do-do. Inspired by Soundgarden's Louder Than Love, that grungy slab of Seattle sound. But it's raw, just 2 bars long. He tapes it, sends it to the band. Cut to Lars Ulrich's house in Berkeley, California. Lars, the Danish dynamo on drums, listens and goes, "Mate, play the first bit 3 times, then the second once." Boom. Now it's got that hypnotic repetition. The instrumental comes together fast, like the band's just exhaling after Justice's complexity. But James Hetfield, the growly frontman, he's stuck on lyrics. He wants something dark to counter the riff's catchiness. Doesn't want it sounding too commercial, heaven forbid. So he pens this twisted tale about crib death. Yeah, sudden infant death syndrome. Destroying the perfect family unit with a horrible secret. Grim stuff, right? What if the Sandman wasn't sprinkling dreams but snuffing out babies? Absurd, but that's Hetfield, channeling his demons into art. But here's the kicker. For the first time ever, Lars and new producer Bob Rock pipe up and say, "James, mate, you can do better." Can you imagine? The band's like a dysfunctional family, and suddenly they're giving feedback like they're on The Voice. Hetfield's pissed, but he rewrites it into what we know, a kid's nightmares. The Sandman from Folklore, that creepy dude who sprinkles sand in your eyes for sweet dreams. Twisted into a boogeyman. Say your prayers, little one, don't forget my son, to include everyone. That's riffing on the classic bedtime prayer, "Now I lay me down to sleep," which is already kinda morbid, praying your soul to keep if you die before you wake. Yikes! Hetfield teaches it to the kid in the song, but with a sinister edge. Then there's "Hush Little Baby, don't say a word and never mind that noise you heard. It's just the beasts under your bed, in your closet, in your head." A warped take on the lullaby "Hush Little Baby," sensory overload, the creaks, the shadows, that primal fear we all had as kids. Obscure trivia? The kid's voice reciting the prayer in the recording? That's Bob Rock's actual son. Talk about family involvement. Hetfield's lyrics about wrecking families, and Rock brings his kid in for the creepy factor. What if that boy grew up traumatized, thinking daddy's job involves summoning night terrors? Anyway, the song's the blueprint for the whole album. Even without words, it sets the tone, heavy, accessible, but with bite. Now onto the album and release Shenanigans. This is 1990 to 91. Metallica's holed up at One-on-One Studios in LA, with a pit stop in Vancouver. Bob Rock's their new producer, fresh from Bon Jovi and Motley Crue. Yeah, the guy who polished hair metal. Metallica's thrash purists are like, who is this Canadian intruder? But Rock shakes things up. He makes them record together in the room, not track by track like before. For Sandman, James layers 3 rhythm guitars for that wall of sound, like Phil Spector but with more distortion. Drummer Lars? They do nearly 50 takes because he records sections separately, editing for perfection. Engineer Randy Staub's got mics everywhere, 40-50 of them to capture that live arena vibe. Bass? Jason Newsted finally gets some love. Rock cranks the low end, making it thunder. Mixing Sandman first takes 10 days, nailing the album's sound. Big, bold, radio ready. But here's the drama. Originally, Holier Than Thou was slated as the opener and single. Lars fights for Sandman and wins. Smart Dane. Single drops. July 29, 1991, 2 weeks before the Black Album, officially called Metallica, but we all know it as the one with the snake. Shenanigans? The band films a doc a year and a half in the life of Metallica, capturing the debates. It's like reality TV for headbangers. Release day, charts explode. Sandman hits number 16 on Billboard Hot 100, number 5 in the UK, tops Finland. Goes gold quick, eventually multi-platinum everywhere. What if they'd stuck with Holier? Would the album sell 30 million? Nah, Sandman was the gateway drug to mainstream metal. Music video. Directed by Wayne Isham, shot in LA. Kid having nightmares, drowning, snakes falling off buildings, visceral stuff. Intercut with an old geezer as the Sandman, watching like a perv, and the band rocking out with flickering lights. Wins MTV's Best Hard Rock Video in '92. But funny aside, this is Metallica's first proper video ever? Thrash kings avoiding MTV till now? Self-roast. They were too busy being underground heroes. Now they're courting the masses. Satirical swipe, selling out. Please, it's evolving. Or as Deadpool might say, upgrading from indie comic to blockbuster, baby. All right, rise to mythic status. Controversies and culture. First, the Riff beef. XL, this thrash band from Venice, claims it's lifted from their '89 track, Tapping into the Emotional Void. Similar? Yeah, but in different keys, and Metallica's got that extra repetition. XL thinks lawsuit in 2003, but nada. What if they sued? Would we have enter lawsuit, man? Bigger controversy. 2003 Iraq invasion. US interrogators blast Sandman at prisoners in Guantanamo. Psychological warfare. Culturally offensive noise to break 'em. Lars hears and goes, bizarre. Our music's about uniting, not torturing. Irony. A song about nightmares used to induce real ones. Absurd what if. Imagine the Sandman as a CIA agent, sprinkling depleted uranium instead of sand. Culture-wise, Sandman ripples everywhere. Mariano Rivera, Yankees closer, uses it as entrance music, earns him the nickname Sandman. Fans chanting as he shuts down innings. Virginia Tech Hokies football? Blasts it at Lane Stadium since 2000. Fans jumped so hard it registered as a minor earthquake in 2023 during a Metallica show. Seismic metal. Brentford FC in Premier League. Welsh rugby. Entrance anthems galore. Wrestler the Sandman in ECW? Enters with it, beer in hand. Brock Lesnar in UFC. 5 fights with that riff pumping. NASA's wake-up call for astronauts on STS-123, space metal. Covers? Motorhead's Gravelly Take in '98, Grammy-nommed. Weezer in 2021 for Blacklist. Weird Al polkas it in '92. Even sampled by Utah Saints and Chuck D, first time Metallica clears a sample. Ripple effect? It's the metal lullaby that infiltrated sports, space, and satire. What if the Sandman was a DJ remixing your fears into bangers? Legacy and lasting weirdness. Enter Sandman is Metallica's anthem, played at every gig since '91, with pyros exploding on that riff drop. Live albums, S&Amp, M with the symphony, Michael Kamen conducting, turning thrash into orchestral chaos. Accolades? Rolling Stone's 408 on Greatest Songs Ever, 30th Best Heavy Metal. VH1's Top Hard Rock, Q Magazine's World Changers. Rock Hall's Songs That Shaped Rock. Obscure Weirdness. Kirk's solo ends with a lick from Heart's Magic Man via Ice-T's Personal. Breakdown overlaps acoustic intro with echoing solo production magic. It's the 8th most played on US rock radio in the 2010s, 126,000 spins. Legacy? Turned Metallica from thrash cult to global juggernaut. But respectful nod. Hetfield's genius in blending folklore with fear, making a first metal lullaby. Weird what if? If Crib Death lyrics stuck, would it be a PSA jingle? Nah, this version's eternal. Whew, that's the Sandstorm. If you laughed, learned, or got that riff stuck in your head, mission accomplished. Hit like if you're Team Sandman, subscribe for more metal myths, and comment your wildest nightmare below. Until next time, exit light, enter night. Take my hand, we're off to Never Never Land. Bang!